recession several times. So let me quickly remind someone. Recession is not scarcity of money.
What is it?
But redirection of money. For you and I to reposition ourselves for the flow of money. So no matter how recession is, there are people who will always be in financial progression. There is financial recession, there is financial progression. When some people are crying of scarcity, some people are smiling with surplus and feasting daily.
Of course.
Feasting means more than what you can finish. So during feasting and parties, what happens? There are 4 categories of people. Number 1, some people will be at the gate waiting for the crumbs to fall off the table. Second category, they are seated on the tiny table in the dining room. The third people in the kitchen cooking. Then the fourth category, the people who actually drop the money for the cooking. So where do you belong to? So number 1 for you to change your financial position is change your location.
Change your location.
Change your location.
Move away from where you're living?
All right, I'm going to explain to you.
No, maybe you stop being always invited to the party. People want to
your location determines your allocation. If you are to be in Okokomaiko and you're in Oklahoma, America, you may be begging. If you're in Oregon, America, where you're supposed to be in Oregon, Ikeja, you may be a beggar.
Okay, let me get it straight. Okay, if you are in a place where you're not supposed to be, you might not be able to harness your full potential.
Where you are presently, what value are you adding to that location?
Okay.
Remember, money always flows to people who meet the needs of the community.
Okay, let me ask you a question, Benga, based on location, because you just said change your location, like it's something you can do consciously.
You have to do it consciously.
Consciously. Yeah. What determines your location?
So many factors.
And yeah, okay.
So many factors. For example, I was born in Ikirun, former old Oyo State, now Oshu State.
Okay.
You understand? I didn't know anything about that. That was a location. But after some time, I decided to change my location, to live where I was living. Some time ago, I was schooling in Ibadan. Some time ago, I was in Ekiti. So I decided to, some time ago, I was somewhere in Southern Africa. Some time ago, I was somewhere in Europe. I changed, you understand? When I was coming back to Nigeria, I could have decided, okay, let me go to Port Harcourt. But I decided to come to Lagos because of certain reasons that, so you have to sit down consciously and check this thing that you are doing. Where will it meet the need of people? You understand? Where will it? Yes. Okay. You understand? Now, a houseboy, let me give you another example of location. A houseboy expecting 1 million naira per month is only daydreaming. Can you pay your houseboy or your gate man 1 million naira?
Monthly. No,
I don't get paid 1 million naira, so how is that going to happen?
Do you get it now?
Yes.
So what that boy needs to do is to change his location by changing his present academic qualification. If he wants to earn 1 million naira per month, but not as gate man again, but as a general manager.
Okay, so the location doesn't necessarily have
it's not only physical.
Place.
Yes, that's right. It's only physical.
Okay.
Mind. Your mind is a location. Your certificate is a location. Your marriage is a location. It's only that you can't change your marriage anyhow. You have to watch very carefully before you go into it, so you can change your location of relationship or friendship. Association is key. So you can Google this name, Roberto Goizueta. He was an ordinary staff of a company. I won't mention the company because it's a big brand. It's a global brand. He was just an ordinary staff of that company. But before he left that company, he became the chairman of the board. And he left a fortune of $1 billion in that company before he left. Do you understand? Nobody has ever done that in the history of mankind. He was the first to do it in history. So you have to understand. David changed his location by changing his CV. Before he was killing lions and bears, nobody recognized him. But he killed Goliath. So for some of us, for our finances to change, we have to kill a Goliath. Do you get it? We have to face something that an obstacle that has been serving as a barrier for us. Yes, and we have to. Number 2, develop your skills, enroll and upgrade. There is always, please, everybody write this quote down if you are listening to me. There is always a vacancy for a better candidate. There is always a vacancy for a better candidate.
Okay.
But for every position, there is a prerequisite and requirement. For every position, there is a prerequisite and requirement. There was this girl now, you read about that girl in the good book. Her name was Esther. They were going for a competition. The requirement says anybody who's coming for this competition must be young, beautiful, and must be a virgin. Many young ladies, many beautiful ladies, but very few virgins. Requirement. No one goes for competition without adequate preparation. No tall man becomes a basketball star without a professional coach or a coaching session. Before you became broadcasters, you went through training. Every weekend, people are still doing parties. This morning,
Even in recession.
even this morning, ma, somebody had approached me with ASUU of 2,000 naira. This morning, which means there is a party coming up.
Yes.
You understand? So the question is, during parties, who caters for the food? Decorations, table, chairs, cakes. Are you aware? Federal government allocations are still going to local government and state government. Those projects are surely executed by human beings. Let me wow you. Friends listening to me at home, enough of excuses. Next week, I'm going to take this to another dimension. I'm going to blow your mind next week and show you some critical factors and statistics in our nation. Are you aware that in Nigeria, there are 30 million puppies, and I'm directing this to ASUU, if they can do something about it. There are 30 million puppies using pencil every day in Nigeria. But guess what? There is only one company producing pencil in Nigeria. Is that not shocking? National Union of Teachers can come together and start doing something about that. ASUU or ASUU can start doing something about that.
Producing pencils?
Yeah. What are you, 30 million pencils daily? Don't you understand?
I'm part of that number. Part of the 30 every morning.
Lagos State consumes
There's a new
285. Lagos State consumes 285 trailers of cow daily. How many cows are inside one truck? When you eat one cow, you have denied 25 children leather sandals. AUT, ASUU can come together and start leather work manufacturing company. Come to Abattoir. Come to the beggar. Come to Kara. Ibadan, now they are everywhere. and begin to, you know what? Because those height and skin, they burn them every day. They burn them. Let me wow you. The bones of the cows you are burning every day at those abattoirs are supposed to produce buttons for our tailors. But we burn them every day. The palm front wasting behind your house is a serious money in Niger Republic and Mali. In Nigeria, one broom is 100 naira. But in Mali, a truck of broom is 270,000 naira. These are few money spinners that we are sitting on every day.
For brooms?
Brooms.
Do they eat brooms there?
Brooms. A truck is 270K.
270K.
I'm giving you statistics. I'm not reading this over to you. I'm telling you facts and figures that we have researched on. Do you understand?
I do.
All right. And the last one, display your capacity. Remember, discover your location, develop your skill, then display your capacity. Learn how to communicate even though you are knowledgeable. Perfume your clothes with activities. If your skill set is outdated or expired, quickly advance them. If your content is powerful but your container is not attractive, no one will buy your product, no one will pay for your services. Take your interview seriously. Defend your proposals passionately. When your capacity is developed, your assignment changes. Then your position changes. Your liabilities will reduce. Your assets will increase. Avoid anger on friends who are drainers. They are parasites. They only suck you. They don't add any value to you. Your association determines your assimilation. Your assimilation will determine your announcement. Remember, you don't light your candle and hide it under the table. You should bring it out. Make your dream visible. Make your vision applicable to meet the needs of human beings in your society, and you will definitely shine.
That's a good one.
Wow.
So when you
motivational rain
and develop your skills,
you
have to display it. Many of us, we have a lot in us, but we are not displaying it. Do you understand? And in closing, I need to talk to our daddies and mummies, our uncles, our mummies in ASUU. I think another strategy they can deploy is to actually invade the political terrain. I don't know how they do it, the political terrain, whether PDP or APC. You know why? If you are not part of policy making, whatever policy they make for you will affect.
Thank you very much. ASUU has only one demand, and the demand is that federal government should honor the agreement it freely enter into with the union. No other demand. Every other aspect of the demand is subsumed in honoring the agreement. That is the only demand. And up till now, we realize that the government has not only been responsible, they are also irresponsive to the plight of Nigerians. That is the crux of the matter. Government should honor the agreement it freely enter into. That is our demand.
Sometime this year, we've talked about it on the show. But presently now, you're going for a 1 week warning strike. This particular strike took a different dimension because somehow the Senate, had to throw its weight on this one. Tell us so far your meeting with the Senate last week. What actually came out of it?
Thank you very much. It's unfortunate that it has to get to this level before government will show what we call concern. We have been trying since 2013, when the last MOU was signed by ASUU and federal government, to get government to honor the MOU in addition to the agreement. But unfortunately, we realize that the more we try to get government to honor the agreement, the more difficult it is for them to see reason with the union. We have lobbied, we have tried all we could. We have made delegation to various bodies who have retired. They don't have gratuity, they don't have pension. And yet, somebody somewhere is keeping our money. And our people are suffering. And people, because children must graduate, we should keep quiet. So it doesn't work that way. Self first is not selfishness. It is self alone that people in government are doing that is selfishness. ASUU is not a selfish organization. Thank you.
And let me add this, because I don't know, when people say our children, you see, don't really think we are impotent too. I mean, we have children in universities too. So we cannot really be cutting our nose to spite our face. But then the most important thing is, you see, we actually do what is patriotic. That's what I said. And that's why all Nigerians must come out. Our people are trained in universities too, like other parents. So we cannot really be doing this to hurt ourselves. But we have to do the needful. Not because of today, but because of tomorrow. I mean, look at where we were some few years ago. Look at where we are now. We don't want to be telling stories of bad situations in the country. That is why we have to do what is it. And like I said, it's just a warning strike. If you're asking me where we want to go, of course, we have placed everything in public domain. That the same quantum of funds that we were asking for 2009, you see what we are talking about in 2016. So as if we have increased it. And we are telling Nigerians that this government is just being intransigent, just being insensitive to the plight of Nigerians when it comes to education. And that's why we are saying everybody that's in Nigeria, the women in Nigeria, to rise up at this time to tell government to do the needful. I told you that the revitalization thing was a product of ASUU and government. Government set up a committee in 2012, and its finding was that government should inject 1.3 trillion in 3 years. That is what the government report says. But we even agree with the government that, of course, the same money should be generated in 6 years. I mean, we don't really have any economic recession when we're entering this NMOU. So an economic recession cannot be an excuse now. 2016. And that's why we said, government, up to now, government is still misplacing its priorities. I mean, government should actually prioritize its commitment and should inject the required funding to education. That's what we are saying. We don't want to actually go into full-blown strike. That is why we started with this one strike. At the end of the day, the government shows its commitment. Of course, I mean, nobody loves strike. Strike is an aberration. Nobody is a strike monger. But when we don't have a choice, we are not really apologetic. But I have view to back on strike when government will not show commitment, especially to agreements that they freely and willingly enter into. That is what we're actually living with Nigerians.